Again, the goal of the game is to get rid of your stockpile. Two plus 7 equals 9, brand new equation, very good.
Hey, I'm Jonathan, I teach geometry. One problem I've really identified is kids come into geometry without having taken any math at all for maybe a term or two, and they really need to hone their algebra skills before we start with geometry. So I'm going to kind of walk you through a problem and a solution that I came up with. So let me start with design thinking. Here it is on the board. First you define a problem, assess your resources, make a plan to solve it, execute, and then check. So I'm looking for ways to really make them familiar with skills in a fun way that has a repetition so that they remember them. So I came up with a game called the Game of Equality, and it used a deck of cards that we created with just integers on it, and it had a big board like this, and it worked pretty well. We assessed it, but it didn't work well enough. So then we came up with the second board right here. Then from there I came up with the third board right here with 4 slots and 3 dice, and then came up with our final board right here, and this is what we're sticking with. So I'm just going to walk you through how we built this and what resources we use. Let's take a look at some of the resources available to start manufacturing prototypes. So the first thing is a wooden board made on the CNC router. That was first designed in Mastercam. So there's a Mastercam file of it, and then I'll go out in the shop and show you how it was made. Cut the board to length, rip to width, attach to the CNC router. Then we're going to bring the CNC to the center point of the board, zero out all of our coordinates. We're going to upload our file from the computer, and then we're going to go to all the different prototypes, upload the file, pre-process it, and run it. It's all done running. You pull it up off of the CNC router. And I have that double-sided strip on it. So there's after it's being run on the CNC router. Okay? Splinters from happening. And to clean the whole thing up, I'm going to use an undermount table router. Fingers off the edge of the router. And that's what gives me my round over. And then I can use orbital sander and hand sander to clean it all up. Next step was to design the dice on the computer. So they're designed in Autodesk Inventor, saved as an STL file, and then printed on the 3D printer. So let's see what those look like. Let's take a look at them. Here are dice. I'll print it out in the 3D printer. You need to go into a chemical bath to take away the support material, but they're pretty much ready to go. Step, designing the cards on Microsoft Publisher. So I got those all laid out and designed, printed those just like we printed the dice. Printed these in 2D, and adding a color to them now that they're printed out. I'm going to cut them out, and then there are decks of cards. So a lot of resources here to build a working prototype. See how the game plays.